Most mainstream scholars do not accept the biblical Exodus account as history for a number of reasons, and this is why they refer to it as the founding myth of the Israelites. One of the reasons given was the Book of Numbers' claim that the number of Israelite males aged 20 years and older in the desert during the wandering were 603,550, including 22,273 firstborns, which modern estimates put at 2.5 to 3 million total Israelites. According to scholars, this vast number could not be supported by the Sinai Desert through natural means. In this video, I will show that the Exodus route did not pass the Sinai Peninsula at all. Also, in my previous video titled, "The Pharaoh and Queen of the Exodus were Amenemhat IV and Neferti of the 12th Dynasty of Egypt," I identified the 12th Dynasty as the period when the Exodus happened. One important reason why the Exodus route could not have passed in the Sinai Peninsula or anywhere near it is because during the 12th dynasty, its rulers were certainly aware of the need to control the flow of people into their country, as can be read from the Prophecy of Neferti, attributed to an individual named Neferti, who most likely composed it at the beginning of the 12th dynasty. It reads, "Asiatics who roamed the land, foes have risen in the east. Asiatics have come down to Egypt." Along the eastern delta, Amenemhat I, the first king of the 12th dynasty, began the construction of the Walls of the Prince, a string of fortresses on the eastern border of the delta. The prophecy of Neferti, "One will build the walls of the ruler to bar Asiatics from entering Egypt. They shall beg water as supplicants, so as to let their cattle drink. Then order will return to its seat, while chaos is driven away." According to the Table of Nations in Genesis chapter 10, verses 6 to 14, Egypt, son of Ham, was the father of the Casluhites, from whom the Philistines came. This explains why, at its maximum territorial expansion, Philistia's territory may have stretched along the Canaanite coast from Arish in the Sinai, today's Egypt, to the Yarkon River, today's Tel Aviv. Exodus chapter 13, verses 17 to 18. When Pharaoh let the people go, God did not lead them on the road through the Philistine country, though that was shorter. For God said, if they face war, they might change their minds and return to Egypt. So God led the people around by the desert road toward the Red Sea. The presence of the Philistines from Arish in the Sinai is one more reason why the Exodus route did not pass the Sinai Peninsula. Instead, they passed by the desert road toward the Red Sea. This desert road is the eastern desert road from Egypt leading to the Nubian Desert. If you look at a map of the Nubian Desert, one can see that the flow of the Nile River starts to thin out or narrows considerably around this region, making it uninhabitable for millions of Israelis to camp. This is why the Pharaoh thought the Israelis will be unable to move deeper south into the desert, thus trapping them. Exodus chapter 14, verses 1 to 4. Then the Lord said to Moses, "Tell the Israelites to turn back and encamp near Pi-Hakeroth between Migdol and the sea. They are to encamp by the sea, directly opposite Baal-Zephon. Pharaoh will think the Israelites are wandering around the land in confusion, hemmed in by the desert, and I will harden Pharaoh's heart and he will pursue them. But I will gain glory for myself through Pharaoh and all his army, and the Egyptians will know that I am the Lord. The previous verse mentioned three locations, namely Pi Hakerot, Migdol, and Baal Zephon.